Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we've got yet another good one for you. Today, we are doing an interview with a lovely, lovely young lady. And I am very excited to talk to her. She's got some really, really great experience, not only on the tour, but from a collegiate standpoint. And I'm just very interested to hear her path. So, Bryce, how are you feeling this morning in regards to this interview we're about to conduct?
Of course, I'm excited as well, because anybody who has listened to our shows, they know how excited we've been about the U.S. women in tennis. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in the water, but American women are just really clowning on the WTA tour right now. And we have an opportunity today to talk to someone who is definitely on the way up. And, you know, we've often talked about kind of that whole decision about, do you go straight to the pro tour? You know, what are the advantages of going the collegiate route? And we very rarely have an opportunity to talk to someone who actually won the NCAAs and singles while they were in college. So just very excited to hear her story, and we have some interesting questions for her. So without any further ado, we welcome Jamie Loeb to Brothers on Tennis. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you, guys. That was a great intro.
Yay! Well, it is great to have you, Jamie. How you doing today?
I am good. I'm in Florida right now, so I can't complain about the weather. Yeah.
Well, excellent. Cool. Well, Jamie, for our listeners out there and for the folks who will be listening to this as the podcast, let's go ahead and just get it started with, you know, who you are and a little bit of your background, just to kind of get the folks up to speed.
Yeah, so I recently turned 26.
Hey, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. March 8th. So, yep, I am 26. I've been playing on tour now for almost 6 years. I turned pro after my sophomore year. I went to UNC and won the NCAA championship there, and then in 2015, and then turned pro that summer when I got a wild card into the main draw of the U.S. Open. I'm the youngest of four. All my siblings played tennis, so by the time I came along, you know, I had a racket in my hand as soon as I came out of the womb. But yeah, and I'm still on tour. Definitely hasn't been easy, but you know, I'm still enjoying it.
Nice. So let's can we dig into that a little bit, Jamie? So you said all of your siblings play tennis. So are they all older than you or younger than you, or are you in the middle?
I am the youngest of four by a lot. So I have two brothers and a sister, and my oldest brother and my sister played collegiately. My other brother, he didn't play in college, but he played growing up. So yeah, it's a tennis family.
Gotcha. And was it one of those deals where you were just sort of on the side court as the siblings were playing, and that's where sort of that fire came from? Or how did you get the fire to say, you know what, this is something that I really, really want to pursue?
Yeah, so I'm the only one that went pro in my family, and I think when maybe I was around like 14, I thought that, you know, I definitely have the potential to play pro. You know, my oldest brother, he's, so I'm 26, Jason's 40, Justin is about to turn 37, and Jenna, or maybe he's turning 38. Sorry, Justin.
It's okay. I do it too.
And then my sister Jenna just turned 35. So there's a big age gap, but I grew up kind of on court, watching my sister play. And, so yeah, I mean, she also helped me a lot through my collegiate process and deciding where to go to school as well. So my family has definitely impacted me quite a bit.
Now, did I see that your sister Jenna, didn't she win like the state title like 3 times in New York?
Yeah, she won it 3 times. I won it 1 time, and one of the times she won it was on a sprained ankle. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to tell us that. What? How is that possible?
Yeah, she she played in an air cast, and I think it was during sectional. She rolled it in a match, and she finished the match. I believe she won, and then she was in the state tournament, and yeah, she played in an air cast and won it. I mean, I was very young, so it's probably better for her to tell the story, but it's pretty remarkable.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I wonder how many families have multiple siblings that have won, the state title.
Right.
Usually you have like the one sibling that's like the really good one, and the other ones just try really hard. But wow, that's amazing. Now, where did Jenna go to college?
She went to Wake Forest. So
okay.
Both of us went to schools in North Carolina.
Wow.
That is, yeah.
And what was that transition like for you? I mean, being born, I'm assuming New York is very different than North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really love Chapel Hill. It is honestly my second home, and honestly, I can see myself later in life living in North Carolina. I think you get a little bit of everything. You get all 4 seasons. You get a little bit. I guess if you go to Charlotte, there's a city, and then the suburbs. So you got a good mix. Definitely slower than New York. So that was an adjustment for sure, because I am very fast paced. Even Florida is an adjustment. And I mean, I'm telling you, like, I love Chapel Hill. Like, my teammates are my best friends. Just it's one big family and community, and I just always feel welcome when I go back there.
That's awesome.
Go
ahead, Bryce.
I'm sorry. Now, did I read when you were in New York, you actually trained at John McEnroe's academy?
Yeah, I did. I trained there for about 6 years. And yeah, with my coach, Felix Alvarado at the time. And, I had a lot of success throughout my junior career and, obviously my collegiate career. And I was there, I think professionally, I think I was only there for a couple of years, but I got to spend some time on court with John, which is a pretty cool experience.
So tell us about that. So first of all, how is John as a person? Because I've only met him just like briefly, handshake, autograph type thing. How is John as a person? And then how was it like hitting with John McEnroe?
John, he's the same the way you see him on court, commentating and playing. He is the exact same person, so it is not a show at all. He is probably the most competitive person I have ever played with and been around. Both of us, we have gotten into it quite a bit. Just, I'm very feisty and competitive, and so is he. And his game is tricky. I mean, it took me forever to figure out his serve. I had a way better chance on clay than hard, but we played a lot, and it was cool learning from him and seeing just his perspective and how he sees the game, and it's quite different than I see it. But it's obviously a privilege and honor that I've been able to share the court with him, and someone that I can always kind of if I want to, I can go back and be like, hey, John, do you want to hit? And I'm sure he will say yes.
You had mentioned that there was sort of a difference as far as your approach goes. What was that difference? Is his more I don't know, feisty, and yours is a bit more, I don't know. Can you explain? Can you explain that to us?
Well, no. I mean, I'm very feisty and competitive as well. It's just how he sees the game, and you can just tell from the moment you step on court, he's just very locked in. He does not believe in mini tennis. So I remember the very first time I hit with him, I was like ready to do mini tennis, and he's like, are we playing a game? So like, everything like, yeah. So, everything is competitive. Just also at the net, like his volleys, and just, telling me to kind of like, be more alert with my eyes, especially. And then just, making note of the unforced errors. And yeah, just like the tactics overall too, is, it was good to learn from him.
So here's the big question. Did you ever beat him?
Sadly, no. I beat him in the game to 21. And then it was 5-all one set, and he like stopped. Yeah, every time I wanted to beat him, like that's why it just got to the point where like we both were just going at it because we wanted to beat each other so badly. But then when I would start winning, he wouldn't really say much to me. But then when I was losing, you know, then he would kind of like give me some advice. So it's funny how that
John sounds like a real one, doesn't he, Isaac?
Right?
Yeah.
He sounds like a real one indeed. Wow, that is crazy. Now, Jamie, do you ever play with or hit with some of the folks on the collegiate side anymore from your alma mater?
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was at UNC was the fall of 2019. So I hit with some of the girls there, and then Haley Carter, she's top 30 in the world in doubles.
Yeah.
She's one of my best friends. So whenever we're at the same tournaments, try to hit with her, hang out with her. So yeah.
So I have a question for you. You know, you're saying you were pretty young when your siblings were playing, and definitely when McEnroe was playing. You know, who were the players that you were kind of inspired by, that you looked up to when you were young and forming your game?
I always loved Kim Clijsters. I'm so happy she made a comeback, but I think she's taking some more time. But I just still love the way that she composes herself. And if only I was as flexible as her. One can dream. But, you know, just her game, she's so steady. And I just, you know, I'm more aggressive, but I just love the way she plays and just the way she handles herself with grace. And I mean, no one can say a bad word about her. So that says a lot.
Right. That's right. Yeah, Kim is by far one of the just nicest special ladies on the tour. I had an opportunity. I used to volunteer for a lot of the California tournaments out here, and I did get an opportunity to meet her, and she is as awesome as everyone says she is. And like you said, no one can say anything bad about Kim Clijsters. She is a class act.
Maybe Justine.
Well, yeah, but
but outside of that.
Oh man!
And I think I read someplace that you like Federer a little bit.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm a huge Roger fan. I never want him to retire. The day he retires, like, I'm gonna need a week. I'm gonna have to take like a leave of absence for like a week. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but just everyone prepare for that. I'm not going to be okay. So please check in on me.
We are the same with you. I mean, just when this past year when Roger wasn't playing, Isaac and I have talked, and it's just like tennis just wasn't the same.
Exactly.
You know, I know for me personally, if for a men's tournament, if Roger's not in the draw, and for a women's tournament, if Venus or Serena aren't in the draw, it doesn't have as much shine.
Right.
You know?
Not the same.
Exactly. We'll have to have a little visual whenever it happens. We'll invite you, and we're just all going to come together and heal together. Once that happens.
Thank you.
So, Jamie, let's talk a little more about your college experience. So you went, and I from what I understand, I'll let you talk about it. You had a very successful freshman year and an even more successful sophomore year.
Right.
Yeah. I won quite a bit of matches my freshman year. I think I won like 50-something matches.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Yeah. You know, I came off of a decent summer of pro tournaments, and I won All-Americans, ITA indoors, and then in the NCAAs, we made the finals of the NCAA that year as a team. We lost a tough one to UCLA 4-3, which still hurts me to this day. Yeah. But then and then I made to the quarters of singles and doubles, and then following year, my sophomore year, I won the NCAAs.
That's amazing. Yeah. And so was there something that you felt like you did in that transition from, high school to college that really prepared you to just jump in there as a freshman and just wreck shop the way that you did? I mean, for real, that is amazing.
I just think, I always grew up playing a lot of tournaments, and I think I was just really ready. I played ITFs and pro tournaments kind of last 2 years of high school. So I think I came in there like fresh and eager and hungry, and kind of, had this confidence in my game as well. So that really set me up for the fall of my freshman year.
That's wonderful. I mean, because that type of a record, Jamie, that's impressive. That's just not even impressive. It's ridiculous. I mean,
right.
you rarely see a freshman step on campus and have that type of result. It's amazing. That's congratulations on that alone. That's
right.
amazing.
And then winning it all her sophomore year.
Exactly.
Right. Now, you mentioned the ITF tournaments. I think we saw that you've won 8 in singles and 9 in doubles thus far.
I think that's right. That sounds right.
Look, she just lost track now. All I do is win.
Right. I know that's right. And quietly, in looking at some of the results, you took out in one of your ITF victories someone who is on the rise right now, which is Miss Jennifer Brady. Talk about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's also, Jenny is also another friend of mine, and she went to UCLA, so I always love seeing collegiate players do well on tour. But I played Jenny a handful of times, and I think you're talking about I played her in El Paso and in Midland.
Yes, right.
Both those times. So yeah.
So what would you say to an up-and-coming player that is debating whether or not they should go the collegiate route?
I think now it's a lot tougher to just go pro, especially with the pandemic and the lack of tournaments, and it's just harder to shoot up the rankings, I feel. I wanted to go pro right away after high school, but my parents, they felt that I should go to college and obviously have that education. And, I'm so fortunate that I did that. And right now I'm actually still pursuing my schoolwork. I'm in 2 classes through UNC. So I do want to get my degree, and I will at some point. Yeah. But, I think you have to be extremely talented right now if you're going to turn pro. I think there's a lot of security going to college, getting an education, whether you go for 1 year or for all 4 years, just to have that. I think it's so important because, tennis isn't everything. And, obviously I'm giving it a shot. I want to be, by the end of this year, I would love to be top 100. I want to be number 1 in the world. I still have so many goals, but at the end of the day, you have to think about what's next, and college definitely provides you with that. And for me, my best friends are my teammates, and I had such a great experience there, and the coaching staff. So, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Sometimes I go back and forth, and I was like, I wish I stayed. But from a tennis perspective, I knew it was the right decision for me. And so, you have to see, because it's very expensive. And if you're able to afford it, that's one thing. But this sport is extremely expensive. So if you can get some sort of college education or get that degree, or at least, use that time to mature a bit, I would suggest that.
Yeah, wonderful words. Exactly. I think it definitely takes a lot to get out there and to make it on the tour and deal with the grind that you have to deal with week in and week out. So, as you're looking at your game right now, Jamie, what are some of the things that you have in the works as far as how to elevate your game and push it to that next level?
I think a lot of it for me is mental. Obviously, it can always be get physically stronger and faster, and I am working on that. But just making sure that each day I am, I'm showing up to practice with a good attitude, good mindset, because I tend to be very hard on myself with everything, and I think that's what's blocked me for a long time, just getting in my own way. And I just need to make a conscious effort of, looking at the progress and finding the positives and not being so down on myself. I mean, look, it's easier said than done. I am not perfect whatsoever, but that's the main thing that I'm trying to work on. And that's honestly the only thing I can really control. And then, I know how to hit a tennis ball. It's just a matter of believing in myself.
Right.
Well, kind of like the question that Isaac asked you about the transition from, high school to college, what have been the differences you've seen now from the collegiate level to the pro tour?
Everyone is good. Everyone is hungry. There's, a different sense of pressure in college. Everything is there for you. You don't have to worry about finances. You go out and play. It is a lot easier. You have a team. And then on tour, financially, you need to sort that out. And most of the time you're traveling alone unless you're top 100 or you have the money to do it. But it's definitely lonely, and most of the time I travel alone. I mean, I have a coach and a trainer. A lot of, the top players, they have their physio and hitting partner, and maybe even their parents come. But, I don't have a whole entourage. So it's the weekend and week out is definitely difficult, especially when you're far from home and you're not doing well. It can take a big mental toll on you, where in college, you look over and you have your teammates and you have that camaraderie.
And I'm assuming that even you're speaking about even regular conditions, what was this whole pandemic, situation like for you?
Yeah, definitely has been an experience. I mean, in the most part, I've taken a lot of good things from it. I've done a lot of, self-reflection and just trying to work on things within myself on and off court. And it's been kind of a good time to step back and, write things down and, just kind of think through things. But then, there hasn't been many tournaments, and the tournaments that they do have, especially on the women's side, it's pretty limited at the moment. And, you kind of have to think through like, okay, how much do I want to travel? And what if, can I get to this country? And like, you have to kind of think worst case scenario, like what if you get stuck, or is this worth it? And it's a lot, I love to plan. Like sometimes too much, but this is
That's me.
Very type A. But this is, it's more stressful now, and they've also cut down the prize money on both WTA and ATP sides. So it's and that's why like I try to find ways that I can just make a little money here and there, like doing a few things, but it's definitely in like unstable and insecure job. Because if you're not playing tournaments, like you don't have the opportunity to make money. And even at a lot of the events right now, you're going to break even or potentially lose money if you're going to bring someone with you. So it is definitely a hard time. And that's why I'm always trying to think of other things I can do at the same time, which can be overwhelming, but I'm fine. I rather be busy than not busy at all.
Gotcha. And any insight into some of those things? I know we saw some players who were doing some coaching on the side, and I mean there were a few other players doing some different things. But anything specific that you kind of get into as your side hustle, if you will?
Yeah. Let me go back. So I guess the biggest one is that I'm an outside sales rep for Hard True, and I know people think of Hard True as clay, but Hard True also does like hard court resurfacing and windscreens and any on-court accessories. So if you know anybody that would like to either redo their courts or facility or want to build a court, just let me know.
All right.
That's good to know.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so there's that. And then I'm just, I just do some like brand ambassador stuff with like some other companies. But that's the biggest one. right now, but still I would like to find a way to make more money. I taught a few lessons kind of in the middle of the pandemic last year, or in the beginning of it. I'm just trying to think right now. And then, I mean, I'm not making money through this, but I am taking classes through UNC. So that's just something that's keeping me busy. Right. I'll let you know what else I come up with. I feel like there's more side hustles, but I can't even think.
It sounds like you're going to be perfectly fine.
Exactly. You know the importance of the side hustle. That's what matters.
Yep.
So let me ask you about this, and it's what I talked about in the intro of this episode, is that the state of women's tennis right now for U.S. players. I mean, there are so many U.S. women in the top 100. I mean, you still have folks like Venus and Serena out there, and Madison Keys and Ali Risk, and new people like Kennan and Brady and Pegula and Anna Samova. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. And you're coming up on the outside of the top 100. What has spurred on this onslaught of success from U.S. women?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been so many American young girls like coming up and doing really well. I think on the women's side especially, anything can happen. I've been saying for years now, like, be top 100, be top 100. And I know I have the game and the ability to do that. It just comes down to like a few things here and there, but it's crazy because even when I think about like who's going to be in the Olympics, like we have like literally in the top 10, like there's so many American women, and I mean I don't know how, like why they're doing well. I guess they can speak for themselves, but I think it's good that we're pushing each other and we have all these players here and we can train with each other, and it's definitely a good it's good to have.
I want to ask you a very specific question because this is something that Brothers on Tennis, we are tracking for the Olympics. Okay, so we think we kind of understand the whole qualification process pretty well. And we know that there are going to be 2 doubles teams on the Olympic squad for the women. And we feel pretty confident that one of those teams is probably going to be Venus and Serena. The other team, though, is, we know Nicole Mellicar is the top-ranked doubles player. And if she gets into the top 10, and I think she was, as of last week, she was ranked number 11. If she gets in the top 10, she makes the team based upon her ranking. But then we have who I think in our minds, in our hearts, we always think the top doubles player is Bethany Maddox-Sands.
Right.
Who I think she's ranked like around 20 or whatever. I mean, based upon the number of U.S. women that will make the team in singles, the 4 women that can make it in singles, we're thinking maybe Serena, Kennan, maybe Jen Brady, maybe Madison Keys. Does Bethany Maddox-Sands or Nicole Mellicar, one of them potentially miss out on making the Olympics team? That almost seems like a crime in terms of doubles.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how it works. I feel like if anything, Mellicar over Bethany, just because she is the top ranked, and I feel like she has a say, and then I think Mellicar could then have a say of who she would want to play with. So, but then also it's up to, I guess, the federation because there's so many players.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I would think Mellicar would make it, but I don't know.
Well, we've had Nicole on the show, and so she's a friend of the show. So we are definitely rooting for her to make the team. But it's just like you said, it's so much competition right now on the women's side in terms of so many women playing well. And we wish we had that same thing going on the men's side. I mean, there are some men that are doing well, but you just don't, I don't know. I
Not
just
to
don't
that
feel,
level.
Yeah, we don't feel like it's to the same degree.
Right.
Yeah. The women are definitely holding up the fort on the American side here. Female empowerment. I'm here for it.
There you go. Yes. Jamie, I actually is talking about a specific question. I've got to ask you this. So I'm looking, of course, I looked at your results and I saw the last title that you captured. And the scoreline kind of hit me and I have to ask you about it. So first set, you won 6-love. So you handed out a little bagel and said, hey, you look hungry, so here you go. And then the second set went to a tiebreaker, and you unfortunately weren't able to pull out that second set. But then in the third set, apparently you felt that she felt, was like malnutritioned or something and decided to give her a bagel again. So I need you to help me understand. and you speak about the mental piece. Tell me what was going on in that match with you and how you were able to feed somebody twice.
Yeah, that was definitely a roller coaster match. I think I was up like 6-0. I think I broke her the first game in the second set too. So I was cruising, and I think it's just a combination that she started playing well, and I think as it got closer, I think I got a little bit nervous because I also haven't. At that point, I didn't win a title for a little bit, so it was a combination of both. And then third set, I just dialed in and took it to another level. And I mean, I guess I didn't expect to, give her another bagel, but I definitely was dialed in, to say the
least. I love it. I saw that result and it just made me chuckle. I was like, wow.
Exactly. So Jamie, let's talk a little bit about, what are some things that you like or are into off the tennis court? A little birdie told us that you are a little bit of a hip hop fan, maybe a little bit of a Cardi B fan.
All right.
There, and as you talk about music potentially, of course I have to ask the question, any relation to either Chuck or Lisa?
Oh my God. No, I don't know Chuck. I don't know Chuck, but I've gotten Lisa before, but no, there is no relationship to her.
Okay.
But adding to that, yes, I am a huge Cardi B fan, and I love hip hop. All like 2000s hip hop. I mean, some of the new stuff as well is good, but not all of it. I mean, I do definitely love like late 90s, early 2000s hip hop. Like, also when I'm in the car, like, no matter what music I'm playing, I'm always dancing. So if you ever are like driving and see me on the road, like, just let me be, like, go judge me. But I'm jamming out like volume at like 30 something, and I'm just in the zone and having a great time. So I love my little dance parties. Those keep me going.
Love to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love eating healthy. I don't really know if that's like a very interesting thing about me, but I love eating healthy. I kind of learned to cook a little bit during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I just love spending time with my family and friends when I can. I actually went to New York last week and saw my family for 4 days. And I didn't see them since Thanksgiving, so definitely my family. Yeah, I'm sure there's more about me I can't even think, but definitely love Cardi B and just love dancing.
And by the way, that little birdie we're friends with the guys from At the Net podcast, AJ and Craig. Mm-hmm. And so they dropped that in our ear. And by the way, they said to tell you hi.
Oh, well, hi guys. They were awesome too. I had a fun time on their podcast as well.
And I love to hear that you said like that period of hip hop, because for me, and yeah, I'm like you. I don't know, this new crew. I like the music. I'm a big fan of Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, but I can't get into as being of the new people as I'm still kind of old school. And for me, Outkast and Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah.
There's nobody above those two for me.
Oh man, I would have to agree with that, brother, for sure. Jamie, I do want to ask you, the healthy, so is that more, as far as your cooking goes, is that more about the tennis or just something that you are just very interested in as far as eating healthy and healthy cooking and what have you? Because I too have been one to been losing weight lately. And so that's been a little bit of a focus of mine. So I'd be interested to hear your perspective on that.
It's definitely a bit of both. I'm really passionate about eating healthy. I love avocados, so that's another fun fact.
Right.
And like, I just love salads, like I always have. So yeah, I always look into like what I'm putting into my body, especially as an athlete. You want to make sure you're fueling your body the right way, and I kind of experiment with things and see how I feel. I still don't really know what what my body truly likes, but because I don't know if my stomach is sensitive to things, but I still haven't figured it out. But
Same.
yeah, I just enjoy it. I feel better. I feel good. I haven't had actually red meat in over a year now, which ironically, my dad is a wholesale meat purveyor. But honestly, if I were to have any red meat, if I were to have any red meat, it would be for my dad, his short ribs and brisket. So yes. I would break that any day for him.
Oh, love that. Yes. Well, yeah. Let us know when Dad is cooking some spare ribs. Listen, we'll make the trek to New York for that. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Are you a kale girl? Do you like kale?
I love kale. I know that sounds so sad, but yeah.
No, I do too, actually. I got some kale in the fridge right now, which is crazy.
Is kale that green stuff I move out the way to get to my steak? I'm just trying to figure that out.
It's a bit crunchy. Sometimes it's hard to digest, but just mix it in with some things and you'll be okay.
Okay.
There you go.
That is exciting. So what's next on your calendar in terms of where you're looking to be playing?
That's a great question. So I've been training on clay the past few weeks, doing a training block. I think right now I'm like 12 out of Bogota WTA. So I would like to play that if I can, even though I heard the altitude is pretty crazy there. But it's a WTA, and I don't know. Well, I would like to go there. If not, I may be staying in the States and waiting to play some challengers in April. It's tough. Like I really want to play right now. I want to get some momentum and play matches, but I also have to be strategic with the travel, and also going into certain countries, I have to make sure that I can, go to others afterwards. So it's a bit more stressful, like I said earlier, about planning. But I'm hoping to play, I guess my first one, April 4th or April 12th. That's the goal right now.
Okay. Excellent. Well, Jamie, I mean, this has been just a fun conversation. I love the AJ and Craig had already told us that you're such a nice and fun person. So we were looking forward to that, but now we can say, we've experienced it ourselves. For the podcast, are there any kind of final words or closing statements that you'd like to make for our listeners?
I mean, I think we covered it all, but if you guys want to follow my journey, my Instagram handle is jloeb308. I sometimes I feel like I'm pretty entertaining on social media. I just do whatever, and I actually laugh at myself, and like I think I'm funny, so that's all that matters.
Exactly. See.
I like to have a good time. On court, I am very serious. I do play in sunglasses. I play in sunglasses. That's like my signature look. It looks like I'm probably about to murder somebody, but off the court, I'm like a different person. Like,
I love it.
I have a chill side, but still very much type A.
Well, with those double bagels, you are out there killing people.
Right?
Well, I tell you what, we are definitely following you now for sure. And hopefully once we kind of get a little bit past this whole Rona thing and we can get back out to tournaments again, we will absolutely cherish the opportunity to meet you in person. And that'll be a great time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love that.
So to our listeners, if you're listening to this on a podcast, we wanted to remind you that the Locker Room app is the place that you can come, you can participate in these interviews live, give us your input, engage with us. But absolutely, this has been a great conversation with Jamie Loeb. Make sure you follow her on social media. And once the tours get back going, we are looking forward to Jamie cracking that top 100 this year, right, Jamie?
Yes, let's do
it. So any final words from you, Isaac?
No, just Jamie, thank you so much for being a part of Brothers on Tennis podcast. We appreciate you. This has been an awesome discussion, and we hope to have you back. Anytime you feel like you want to share anything, or if you need a source to get the word out on anything, please know that you can let us know, and we will get it out there for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to be back maybe 6 months from now, see where I've been and what I've been up to. That'd be fun.
Love it.
We will make that a date then.
There you go.
So once again, thank you, Jamie. And to our listeners, we have more and exciting episodes coming towards your way in the next couple of weeks. So look forward to that. With all of that, be safe. And this has been your boy, Bryce.
And this is your boy, Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, take care.